Attention, all you sex fiends, sinners, degenerates, and deviants. If you're looking for a hot new sex toy, now is your chance. Sex toys don't care about what's in between your legs, and that's the sign of a true ally. Go to either BVibe or Lawand and use code SEXEDWITHTIM at checkout for 20% off your entire purchase. That's SEXEDWITHTIM for 20% off anything you buy from their websites. Check the show notes for more details. Once again, that's Sex Ed with Tim for 20% off both BVibe and Lawand products. Your next orgasm is on me. Mwah! The Sex Ed with Tim podcast is recorded on the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people. We acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13, signed with the Mississaugas of the Credit, and the Williams Treaty, signed with multiple Mississaugas and Chippewa bands.
You're listening to Sex Ed with Tim.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Sex Ed with Tim podcast. I'm your host Tim, certified sex educator. I identify as a chaotic homosexual. And are you my appendix? Because I have a funny feeling in my stomach that makes me feel like I should take you out. That was a listener submitted pickup line. How do you feel about that?
Complicated. The feelings are complex.
I know. I have the worst audience ever.
No, we love the fans.
No, I don't.
We love the fans.
You're too nice to my listeners.
I have to be on my introductory episode. Of course.
I'm introducing you to the world. So, hello everybody. I have the pleasure of having my best friend, my soulmate, my wind beneath my wings, the only one who's allowed to be mean to me.
And I'm very mean to you.
You're so mean to me. But I love it because I need to be kept in line. Mm-hmm. This is Anna. Hi, Anna.
Hi, Tim. It's so wonderful to be here with you. And the lovely listeners.
Oh my god. It honestly feels like you and I, we spend so much time together that it's like we're almost joined at the hip. And I feel like we're more connected, not because of how much we have in common, but like how much of the things we hate.
Yes. Oh, for sure. I mean, I think, as we were kind of discussing before we started recording,
yeah,
our taste in men, I think, alone shows that we have very little in common.
Who were you just talking about before I hit record? I already forgot his name.
We were talking about the Scream mask-looking guy from House of the Dragon, who has bewitched me body and soul. That man has an insane profile.
What's his name?
Ewan Mitchell.
Ewan.
If you're listening, Ewan Mitchell... You can't. I'm very. Hit me up. My DMs are open.
Oh no! I just googled his face.
I know, and that's what I'm saying.
What is that face?
He has a Habsburg jaw. You know what I mean? Like,
what's a Habsburg jaw?
Oh my god, you don't know about the Habsburgs?
No.
Okay, let me tell you.
Oh yeah, I'm very ignorant.
So they're a royal. Look up Habsburg jaw. So basically, they're a royal family.
Okay.
That they were intermarrying. So there's like a lot of incest, and then they ended up having like this really fucked up jaw.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh my god!
I'm not. Okay.
Oh my god!
It's okay. To be clear,
that's a horse.
The Habsburg jaw is like infinitely worse than what this like random guy from England is looking like.
Is this jaw like real?
Okay, I don't know if that looks photoshopped, but that is real. That's a real portrait
jaw.
of a... Yeah. Anyway, guys, look up the Habsburg jaw.
Oh, I don't like that. Oh, that's gonna give me nightmares. That's like my sleep paralysis demon.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
Okay, but like with Ewan Mitchell,
It's not
so
that bad. He just has a very distinctive profile.
He just doesn't have lips.
Well, he is a white man, so. All love, all love. This comes from a place of love. Listen, the thirst I'm experiencing for this man right now, unreal. Unreal.
Who does he play in House of the Dragon?
Aemon Targaryen.
Oh,
Who, like, I'll be honest with you. That fucking wig and that eye patch, the scar, it's all coming together in a perfect story.
It does.
And he's a psychopathic mommy's boy. Hello. I think that distills my type into a very neat little package.
How like common is it that you and I have like felt something for a psychopathic mommy's boy? Like, I remember this one time you sent me on TikTok that sent me on a downward spiral of JD from the Heathers musical.
Oh yes.
Going like, Veronica, open the door.
Yeah,
please.
that was
like,
yeah. Like I said, psychopath, mommy's boy. That's all I look for in a man.
I think you and I have boiled it down to a type where it's like, we want them to be broken so that we can fix them.
Oh, I don't want to fix them.
Oh, you don't want to fix them?
No, I don't want to fix them. I want to make them worse.
You want to make them...
I want to make them worse.
You want to make them
I actually think they could be worse, and I want them to be worse.
You want them to be in an asylum?
No.
No,
because then how can they wreak havoc?
That's true. They can't wreak havoc. So on a scale of like 1 to absolutely in a straitjacket, what are we looking at for a man? I mean,
the energy needs to match, right? And you know that I'm crazy.
Yeah. I mean...
certifiable. I have... Yeah. We're...
This episode is brought to you by Seroquel.
Yeah. Yeah. The antipsychotics are not working.
Yeah. And this episode is also brought to you by Wellbutrin.
Yes. We've covered the whole spectrum of mental illness between the two of us.
Because, like, I was diagnosed, in November of 2021 with, like, generalized anxiety disorder and, like, major depressive disorder. And it's been quite a fun ride. Even more fun than Disneyland, I'd say.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've been on that ride for many years. Many years.
Disneyland was great, though, wasn't it?
Disneyland was so fun.
Oh, my God.
Do you know that I have dreams about Disneyland?
I do, too.
Like, and do you know what keeps coming up on my TikTok FYP? People who are live streaming their trips to Disneyland.
How?
And I'm like, take me back. Take me back. I want to get on that elevator, the Guardians of the Galaxy and
Tower.
oh my God.
So fun.
So fun.
Oh my God. I still keep having dreams of my gay sexual awakening Gaston. Surprising no one. And you're like rolling your eyes off. Like, the listeners aren't going to see this, but like, you know.
The restraint that I just exhibited in not rolling my eyes, like, let's take a moment.
Yeah, I know.
You were struggling. Golf clap for...
golf clap for Anne. Like, just doing...
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's listen, I can't fight my feelings.
That's true. I will say, okay.
You just admitted to feeling for you.
Listen, this is on brand for me. Can you blame me? I think the funniest thing is me sending you that TikTok and being like, I don't get it. This is so weird. I don't get it. And then what? Like, not even a week later, if you go through my likes on TikTok, it's just fan cams of him. I see a TikTok of Aemon Targaryen set to a Lana Del Rey song, and I hit that like button. I smashed that like button.
Who's Aemon Targaryen? Is that
the guy that it's the character that he plays?
So I can imagine him like just staring out into the distance, and then like blue jeans, white shirt.
Yeah, and I think it's funny because I think that like people see. Okay, now I'm getting into like, you know, my analysis of his character.
Do it.
I think people see him as like, or people are interpreting him as like a badass. He's actually like a pathetic loser mommy's boy.
He's a wimp.
Like, I know that he, like, you know, he has his slutty little waist and his villain walk. I get it. I'm there with you all. I'm there with you all. But the attraction is that he's a loser. You know, he's a loser.
I love losers.
And this is coming out many, many months after after House of the Dragon has come out. So I feel comfortable in spoiling it. But if you do not want to, if you haven't watched it by now, like,
Sucks.
are you too poor to have an HBO subscription? Like, what's going on here?
And then, wasn't it just like yesterday or a couple days ago where you told me that House of the Dragon is basically the same as Succession?
I mean, it's okay. There's marginally more incest in House of the Dragon.
Oh my god.
Which, like, okay, I'm sorry, but, like, there's incest on the incest show. Like, we need to get over it. I don't, you know, like, I'm 29 years old. I can watch a show and not, like, go out and, like, I'm not gonna fuck my brother. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna watch a show and then be like, me at my big old age, be like, I'm gonna fuck my brother because I watched House of the Dragon.
God, I cannot take any more incest. I mean, ever since you have been, like, force-feeding me Succession content on TikTok and in real life.
The restraint I've shown, okay?
Yeah, okay, fair. But honestly, it's because of that I kind of was like, Kendall Roy? Hello, Jeremy Strong.
I will say, yeah, I'm a Kendall girly, okay? He's done nothing wrong ever in his life. And if you've watched the show, you'll agree with me that he's done nothing wrong ever in his life.
He's so sad and angry, and
he's miserable. He's a pathetic loser, and I love that.
It's so
I love
hot.
that. And he has daddy issues. He has mommy issues. Hello, sign me up.
So sexy.
Again, like I said, I don't want to fix him. I want to make him worse.
We're only here to make men's lives more horrible than they already are.
Yeah. I mean, why not?
Honestly, yeah. I mean, men have had it way too easy for the past couple millennia. So
That's true.
it's time.
I'm here to even out the playing field.
Yeah.
I'm here to come into your life and make you wish you were dead. You know? and I think that's praxis. I think that's
Okay,
that's feminist praxis.
What does that word mean? Because I've heard it been used so many times.
It means like that you're putting theory into practice.
So why not just say that?
Yeah, but that's like the academic term for it.
Oh my god. Well, I'm not academic, you know that.
Yeah.
Praxis?
I only ever use it to make jokes, though. I don't think I've ever
That's
used it
true.
like in a paper or anything like that.
Whenever you make jokes, you use like the biggest words, and I kind of just smile and laugh along, and I'm like, sure. Because you're always saying like, I look like I'm always dying of consumption, and I'm like,
Yeah, but that's so much funnier than saying I'm dying of tuberculosis or I'm dying of TB. Like, I'm a Victorian child. Like, my face is covered with ash because I'm a chimney sweep. And, like, you know, I'm like in a Dickinson novel. With my little paperboy hat.
yeah, you could be.
And I'm like,
you could be one of
coughing up blood dramatically. You know what I mean?
that is hot.
I think so.
Yeah, you could be like
Dying slowly of a communicable disease. Very
Yeah,
sexy, if
that's-
you ask me. Very sexy.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you ever feel like dating someone who's chronically ill and is very much into TV always, all the time,
Yeah.
hit Anna up.
Yeah. It's probably like a complex at this point how much I'm into television. But if they did make good TV then I wouldn't care, right?
You know, I think TV brought us up. You know,
Yeah.
TV raised us.
Yeah.
We're almost very BoJack Horseman of this, you know,
Yeah.
where TV brought us up and like you learn everything about relationships.
Yeah.
Again, like we're failing the Bechdel test at this point with this episode.
I know, God, jeez. To be clear, I want to be clear. I am not a straight woman.
No.
I know I've been
That's why I said ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I feel like I should clarify. My sexual awakening was Lucy Liu in Charlie's Angels
The
Barracuda scene, where
scene.
she's in that like dominatrix outfit.
Yeah. It's
where
like
she
someone
was.
from HR or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh my
Okay. Just to be
God.
clear, that's when I realized that I was a sexual being.
Really? Can you think even further or earlier that you thought
I was
you
like, that was when that movie came out in 2000, so I was like 7.
were... Okay, and that's where you were
Keep
like...
in mind that I was in like Catholic school at the time, so this was like very traumatizing for me.
to see leather-bound Lucy Liu.
Oh, the fact that I was like experiencing like, you know what I mean?
Mm,
Ladies, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
That like feeling where you're like, why am I
why do I like this?
yeah, am I gonna pee? Like what's going on there?
What about like an anime crush that you had?
I was never into anime.
No, not anime, but like cartoon character.
Oh, animated? Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like I should get into anime because all the hot like gay bitches love anime.
They're very yeah. No, but like an animated character that you.
Oh, okay. Aladdin for sure. Aladdin and Kovu from The Lion King 2. Who was in charge of that? I need to speak to whoever was in charge of that. Why did they make Kovu so sexy?
For a lion, I was like,
Yeah.
Who was his voice actor?
Not who. Okay, Jason Marsden is the actor, right?
I
No, or
think
James Marsden is
so.
the actor. Because they have the same name and their name.
No, it is Jason Marsden who voiced
Okay,
Kovu.
Jason Marsden. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who?
Wow.
I'm sorry. Kovu had like no business being that hot.
Yeah, that wispy kind of like side
Yeah,
hair or
I
whatever.
truly. Who's responsible for that?
Yeah.
We need to find out who's responsible for that, and that person should be paying for my therapy. I think.
And also like just the way that scar on his left eye. Just,
I'm
like,
telling you, the eye scar. The eye scar. There's something about an eye scar. Like I said, can I just really quick detour back to Aemon Targaryen? Because this really quick, it has to do with his eye scar. I'm sorry, his eye. Okay, so he loses his eye when he's a kid. It gets cut out, whatever.
Okay.
So they sew it shut, right? He is such a camp bitch that he rips open the scar in order to open up his eye socket to put a sapphire in it. I'm sorry, that's camp. To
Okay,
me.
you know what? The
That's
sapphire.
camp. To open up a healed scar just so you could stick a gemstone in your eye socket, which he then covers with an eye patch because he doesn't want to scare the ladies.
I mean, what's the point in putting a
Why
precious
did-
stone in your eye if you can't show it off?
Well, he doesn't want to scare the ladies.
But that's so hot.
He's a thoughtful
Okay,
psychopath.
I guess that's fine.
I'm sorry, George R.R. Martin, like, why did you do that? You need to explain. You need to explain.
I guess it's fine, but you know,
I said, he's bewitched me body and soul. I think about him 24/7.
Okay, that's fair.
But I'm telling you, there's something about an eye scar.
That's true.
And Kovu was rocking the same vibe.
I'm still thinking about the Aladdin actor we met at Disneyland.
Oh yeah,
was-
where I was like, I just want a photo. I really don't need
And then
to
he
walk
decided
with you.
to lock arms
Yeah,
with
and I
you
was like,
walk.
I was like, this is not the experience that I
Okay,
want.
but like if you remember what he looked like, he was such a twink, and he had like the cutest smile. My only complaint is that where's the shirtlessness?
Oh yeah.
there?
Yeah, he had a shirt on. Guys, I hate to disappoint you. If you go to Disneyland or Disney World, Aladdin will not be shirtless.
I
He's
know.
rocking a live action look, unfortunately. I wonder, before the live action, was he shirtless? Let's do a little research.
I mean, no,
Let's research, Mama.
no hate to Mina Masood who played Aladdin in the live action, but like, I need more abage, you know. Some
that's
more
fair.
ab action. I just wanted to see.
I'm surprised. Didn't Guy Ritchie direct Aladdin? Which is
Oh wow.
so fucking weird
But,
to me.
If you remember what he looked like, he was like giving hot twink energy. It was serving fruity.
I literally blacked out. When he was like, walk with me, I like blacked out.
I'm like, what? What's going on?
I don't like,
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. And I was like, I can't, it was horrifying to me. I feel bad because I wish he had asked you instead because I think you would have enjoyed it more. But like, for me, I just want a photo and like, you know, there's...
You know, I think
And
asking...
then you have to like carry on a conversation with them, and I'm like, I'm so good.
I really would have enjoyed it more, but I think asking Disney to like make their actors, homo, maybe it's asking them too much, like
What in what that it was an act of homophobia that
Yeah.
he asked me to watch with him?
I'm calling out anything remotely homophobic. Just-
I'm sorry, that's so. The Aladdin at Disneyland executed for the crimes of homophobia.
okay,
That's so funny. Holy.
listen,
Oh my god, that's so funny.
but don't you remember how long we were trying to look for Gaston?
Yeah, I think that is definitely
Please
homophobia.
tell the listeners the story of how we were waiting for Gaston at the parade.
Oh
and
yes, okay. So during Halloween, because we were in Disneyland like the first week of October, and in Disneyland they have like the trick or treat parade where a bunch of characters kind of like walk down the main
the main street.
the main street of Disneyland.
Yeah.
And so this happens multiple times a day. We'd been there, I think we spent 3 days at Disneyland.
Yeah.
So we had seen this parade many times, and Tim was dying to meet Gaston. And he was impossible to find in the park. So we saw him a couple times during the parade. I'm sorry.
And then we always saw him
yeah.
in one specific position.
So he was always on the left side of the parade. So we were like, okay, let's, engineer this, mama. Like, let's do this.
Because we have insider information from that one cast member, Airly.
Yeah, shout out
was
to Airly. If you ever happen to be listening to this, you're the best. You deserve a raise.
Yeah. She
like-
gave us insider information as to when the parade was going to happen again. So we're
Yeah.
like, all right,
So see,
starting here.
it was you experience an act of homophobia and then you experience an act of gay rights.
Yeah.
So thank you, Airly. You're the best.
Balanced it out. Okay.
We think about you all the time. So we see that they're starting to clear the main street for the parade. So we're like, okay, let's go and stand on the left side
where we normally see Gaston.
where we normally see Gaston, and let's wait for him to cross by. And we had interacted with some of the characters like Peter Pan and
Captain Hook,
Captain
Cruella.
Hook. Yeah, so we had seen that they do like interact with people during the parade. So the parade starts. We're kind of standing
Right where it
like
started.
at a corner.
Yeah.
So they're turning
were at,
around this corner.
It's a Small World.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a small world. So we see them and they're turning a corner, and the first one is a car with Pluto in it, and then there's like
Chip and
like a
Dale.
trolley that had multiple levels that had different characters on it, whatever. And Gaston is bringing up the rear with a bunch of other villains. They're turning the corner, and we see Gaston, and he's on the opposite
side!
For the first time we had seen this parade like 3 or 4 times at this point. He had always been on the left side. And as they're turning, we see it. And what
On the
I
right.
thought I saw Tim's soul leave his body. I thought he was gonna pass out from like the sheer rage he was experiencing. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make this happen for him. We're gonna do it. So we're like, okay, the villains are bringing up the rear. So we're kind of following behind the parade. And he's, a little bit ahead of us, because I think the last group was like a car that had Cruella and the evil queen
Yeah.
from Snow White.
Yeah.
So we're following them, and we're trying to somehow like navigate and get our way up to Gaston, who's ahead of us. So Tim, we reach a point where I think he's close enough that if we book it, if we sprint, we could get to him. Tim takes off. He's running. There's like crowds of people because everyone's gathered to see the parade. He is running. He gets up to Gaston. Gaston is like, preening for the people as he does. And then Tim is like right there. And Gaston turns to him and then he goes, "There you go." And that was a moment. And then we also like engineered another moment for Tim, but
Yeah, to
that
make
was,
it look very genuine. And
where we like, there was a dance party, so we went to the dance party.
we knew Gaston was
And
going
then,
to be dancing
and then
there.
we waited at the side of the stage, so Tim, as Gaston was coming off of the stage, Tim could like fucking TMZ paparazzi follow him with his phone, like
It was very TMZ. I looked at the video back. I was like, why do I sound like...
I was like running. I was like right behind you. So I just saw you. And this Gaston is like very tall. He's like over
6 foot.
6
Yeah,
foot
yeah.
something. So you just see Tim, like little Tim, like with his phone out. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. But I'm glad that you got to meet Gaston.
Like, it was so difficult. Why? Like, I would have thought that a character who loves attention would be out and about way more often.
I think you have to remember that, like, most kids who are... Because Disneyland is for kids, like, let's be real.
Right.
I would say California Adventure is probably for, like, aimed for older people, but Disneyland is, like, clearly for children.
Mm-hmm.
They want to see the princesses. They want to see the, like... they're not, like, here for the villains.
Well, that's why we waited in that princess line, right?
Yeah. Which...
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Which was another beautiful moment for both of us.
Yes, it was. So when we were in Disneyland, we my kind of goal was to meet Jasmine because I love Jasmine.
Because that's your gay awakening for Disney.
Yeah, that's true. I also I leaned very heavily on the men for this episode. But to be clear, I do love women.
This whole episode is about us hating men, but we're just
That's
like having
true.
a little kiki.
But Jasmine
during
literally...
Men's Health Month, by the way, so we're gonna be totally unhelpful for the men that have written into the show.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
So I really wanted to meet Jasmine. We met Jasmine when she was out and about, which was incredible. And then we went to stand in the Princess Line at Disneyland. And the Princess Line in Disneyland is... There's 2 princesses that are in this royal hall. You never know who it's going to be because it changes throughout the day.
It's like a roulette.
So I was like, okay, fine. Like, we'll get whoever we get.
Yeah, we're okay that we saw Jasmine out and about in the street.
So it's not like I didn't see her at all and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And we go in and there's Snow White. And I'm like, okay, cool, like Snow White. She had like the Snow White voice.
Yeah, very high pitched. And
yeah. Yeah, I was like, wow, they're really making you like go full in character.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't be talking shit because I have a naturally high pitched voice. So like she was very much in character is what I'm trying to say. So I was like, okay, Snow White. And then I'm like, maybe we'll get like Cinderella or something like that. We walk in. Tim walks in ahead of me. And Tim is like, oh my God.
Oh yeah, I had the biggest like reaction.
Yeah.
Because as the guide was guiding us through the hall, it's like, all right, move on. And then I was like, oh my God!
Yeah, I hear Tim go, oh my God. And I'm like,
you're like, what?
And so I walk in and it's Jasmine. And I was like, oh my God. And she remembered us. Yeah, she remembered us.
She remembered us.
And I was like, oh my God, okay.
Yeah.
And it was fun. She was great. Like I said before, I'm very uncomfortable interacting with people who are in character.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that bad with her. And she was really lovely.
Also, like, I love her character study because when we asked her questions...
Yeah, we did ask her questions.
Because, like, before you and I went up to her,
we
were thinking...
like, what are we going to ask? Like,
her,
what are we going to talk about? Yeah.
And then we came up with the question, if you had the lamp before Aladdin what would your 3 wishes be? And we were like, oh, she would probably want to, like, end world hunger, have world peace, and probably like destroy
free the genie
or something or like bring down the patriarchy or whatever. Yeah. And when we asked her that, she was like,
I would give it to someone else because I already have everything that I want. And I was like, yes, fucking okay, queen. Jasmine is selfless.
Yeah, that's selfless. True. And like she knew her character in and out so well. I love that for her.
And
so good.
Yeah, it was good. It was fun. I think Disneyland was a great trip.
Yeah, I love it. I don't know if I told you this, but like throughout Disneyland, my grinder kept ringing.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
You think you're the only gay who loves Disney?
I wanted to be.
You're not special, Tim.
This is my problem, you know? I love being like unique.
Yeah.
But like as TikTok has constantly showed me that neither
no
you nor
experience is universal. Sorry.
We don't have any original experience. We are just like copy paste. Yeah. You know, the universe said copy paste onto all these people and then whatever. Like I wanted to be special. Yeah. It's okay. It's fine. I know, but what am I gonna do? I like when the attention's on me, but like I don't like it when people are touching me. Like, cuddle me, but with your eyes. I'm like a cat.
Yeah, that's true. I was gonna say that's very cat of you.
Even though I'm very much a dog person.
Well, you can't be perfect, so.
But I am perfect. Mommy told me I'm perfect. And speaking of imperfections,
Yes.
we got people who wrote into the show. And you're like gleaming cheek to cheek, ear to ear right now because you want to get in on these men.
I love telling people what to do.
Yeah, and being extremely unhelpful.
Yeah, listen.
I mean, you can be helpful if you want.
You know what? I think I'm a Cancer. So I'm like the mom friend.
Sorry, I just remembered.
I know you. Okay, let's talk about this. Let's let the people know. We have known each other for since we were 14.
Yeah.
We've been friends for many, many years.
Many years. Mm.
We're meeting people for the first time, and the topic of astrological signs comes up.
Yeah.
And so, everyone says what their astrological sign is, and then it's my turn, and I say, I'm a Cancer, and Tim jumps in and says, to society. That sound that you hear is Tim laughing. I'm not laughing.
Okay.
And he has the audacity to say I'm mean to him.
I'm going to be paying that with blood for the rest of my life.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh my god. And then, what was it, just before we were bringing up astrological signs, we were trying to figure out if I was using the word witty correctly.
Yes.
So, me saying to society, that was witty.
Yes, I'll give you that. It was mean, but it was witty.
Because, I didn't know what witty meant.
I can't... Hold on. I'm sorry. Do you know what I just remembered? Do you remember when we were standing in line? This happened when we went to Fan Expo, which is why I'm making this connection, this conversation about me being a Cancer to society. Do you remember when we were standing in line to Fan Expo and we were talking, and we were talking with, I don't know if they were a couple, but they were two people, and we were kikiing the energy, the chemistry between these two people that we had just met. I think it was pretty good. We were vibing. I say something, and a man who is a couple or a few people behind us in line walks up to us. We don't know him.
Inserts himself in a conversation.
Yeah, we don't know him. And he is full on grilling me. I'm like, I'm sorry, is this a cross-examination? What is going on right now? And he just kept going. I think it was something about beaver pelts or something like that.
Or, yeah, we were talking.
And he's like, do you think it's ethical to do this? I'm like, dude, I don't care.
We don't care at all.
We're literally standing in line to Fan fucking Expo. I don't want... This is the Spanish Inquisition. I don't care. I'm here to have a good time, and you're grilling me about this.
Yeah.
I don't know you.
Why did you think it was so appropriate to just insert himself in conversation
and
that?
And I kept trying end the conversation, being whatever,
yeah.
I don't know. And he just kept going, and I was like, sir, can you read the room kindly, sir?
A lot of men have the audacity. You know? Remember our ride back to the airport? Where
Yes! Oh my god!
Why?
The most uncomfortable hour of my life!
So I remember
oh my god!
He started off as such a gentleman, okay, you're just a natural conversationalist, great. And then he started talking about his musical that he wrote that was based on the Bible.
Yeah, I will say I think that was probably the most LA thing we experienced.
That's true.
In our time in California.
That's true.
And he was talking about how oh, this has never been done before. This musical is groundbreaking and whatever. And then he
Have
played.
you never heard of Jesus Christ Superstar?
And he played, and he's oh, it's a 360 experience or whatever. And I'm like, okay, sure. And then he starts playing songs from his musical
on full blast.
And it was, I wanted to jump out of the car.
Yeah.
It was so uncomfortable. And first of all, it was bad.
It was so bad.
It was really bad.
Oh my god.
And also, could you see the video?
Yeah.
Of the guy quality in a Party City curly wig.
Yeah. And
I was
it was like green screen, and like you can see like body parts fading in and out because the green screen didn't catch up.
I was like, who did your wig department? The same people who did Lord of the Rings of Power for Amazon? Is that? Sorry, I have a lot of
problems with.
First of all, fuck Jeff Bezos. Like, for real. One of the most demonic people. Him and Elon Musk.
Yeah, fuck you.
Get them on a shuttle and blow it up. You know what I mean? Okay.
Teleport you to Mars.
Whatever CIA agent, FBI agent is listening to this podcast, I did not mean that literally.
Oh, I did. I'll take the blame. I'll take the heat. But yeah.
Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. I'm sorry, I haven't watched it out of principle. I don't support Amazon. But what is going on? I'm sorry, if you are in a fantasy show, you should not be rocking a Gen Z, like, haircut, you know, where they have the permed top. No, all men should look slutty with long wigs in a fantasy show.
Like Legolas?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, Peter Jackson understood what the girlies needed from Lord of the Rings. And that was hot, slutty-looking men in wigs. In long wigs.
Yeah. I mean...
Viggo Mortensen as Aragorn changed my life.
Okay, I do want to submit this to the long wig, slutty men deck.
Absolutely.
But I know how much you actually find him disgusting. I do want to submit Henry Cavill as Geralt.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that. I'm sorry. He is... Listen. Okay. He is ugly to me. I understand this man is very conventionally attractive. I get it. And I get why the gays love him.
Yeah,
I support you 100%. I have reached a new low for myself.
Yeah,
where I realize I know.
So
like I said, if you're listening to this, I love you. Hit me up.
Him and Joseph Quinn.
I will, yeah. You know what? There's something about an English man who looks like he could play a Nazi in a World War II movie that I probably should dig into that. I think that's there's some intergenerational trauma.
Very much
Eastern European and intergenerational trauma.
Very much fetishizing the Aryan nation right now.
Yeah. But you know what? I like... it's complicated. Yeah. It's complicated, but I will say that there's some men that I actors in this world where I only have to see them once and I'm like, I know he played a soldier in a World War II movie that aired on BBC in like 2006. Yeah. I know that. I can feel it in my soul. And I'm right 100% of the time.
That's true.
They all just have that look, okay? They all have that look. Mm-hmm. Anyway, whatever. It doesn't matter. I need to stop talking about this. Henry Cavill, did you hear that he's not going to be the Witcher anymore?
He's not going to be the Witcher anymore. He's going to be replaced by Liam Hemsworth.
Which is a lateral move in my opinion.
Yeah, I know.
I will say, Henry Cavill, guys, I get it. I get that he's beautiful.
Listen,
for you.
The gays.
He's ugly for me. Yeah. Okay? There's some, I need, for me, what's beautiful is a man that looks ugly. That's objectively ugly. You know what I mean?
Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. And, you know, with the gays beholding Henry Cavill, I think it's just really a projection of our daddy issues and our body image issues, which is why we're so attracted to him. But, you know, that might be... Okay,
you know what? I'll give that to you, because I think what I discovered is that I want to be a mommy to men with mommy issues. I think that's what I've discovered about myself.
Oh, I just choked on my pumpkin cream. Oh,
you know what I mean? Like, I think that's what I've discovered about myself. Is that I cannot criticize you at all.
And you know that's called growth.
We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Yes!
What's up, all you sick fucking perverts? Don't you just love love? The Love Shop has everything you need to feel the love in the air, or in between your legs, wherever you want, really. They've got everything from vibrators, lubes, lingerie, and even full-sized sex dolls. Wow, I guess love really does come in all shapes and sizes. Visit loveshop.ca/sexedwithtim and use code SEXEDWithTim at checkout for 15% off the whole store. And the best part is that they ship all over Canada, US, and what? Ireland? To all my whores in Dublin, top of the morning to ya. That's loveshop.ca/sexedwithtim and check out code SEXEDWithTim for 15% off the entire store. Now get to fucking. Do you like feeling sexy and looking sexy? Of course you do. Only my listeners are sexy as fuck. I have partnered with fetishwear designer Dale Kuda to bring you the hottest deals on custom jock straps, harnesses, hats, and more. Head over to dalekuda.com, that's DALEKUDA.com, and use code SEXEDWithTim at checkout for 25% off the entire store. Yeah, you heard me, 25% off. And cherry on top, free shipping. Oh my god. I have a few of the stuff that he has made for me, and girl, I'm wearing it right now. I'm wearing like a little jock strap so that I could easily just like slip a little butt plug or dildo every now and then here and there, and I'm on the train. I'm just like, thank you, Dale. That's dalekuda.com with the code SEXEDWithTim for 25% off your entire purchase with free shipping. With a deal like that, I swear I could come buckets, honey.
The show is about to begin.
Yes.
Speaking of being unhelpful and cancers to society and men having the audacity, are you ready to get into some listener questions?
Yes!
And be absolutely unhelpful.
No.
So all of these questions have remained anonymous because they've chosen to, unless they've decided to disclose their identity, which good for you. Get ready to be dragged.
Do I get to pick their names? Are we giving them names?
Let's give them names, you know. Let's call this first one, what's a really stupid name for a kink shamer? Let's give him Steve.
Oh, I was thinking like Piss Baby.
Piss
I think we're coming from two very different...
The duality of man right
Yeah.
now.
You're like, yeah, let's like give him like a normal name, and I'm like, Piss Baby.
Piss Baby. Okay, so let's answer Piss Baby's question.
Okay, I thank you for submitting your question.
Thanks, Piss Baby.
Lots of love and light to Piss Baby.
I'm not gonna have a show after this.
I have a feeling that you're gonna get a lot of angry tweets.
Oh, great. I have a lot of time.
How many times have you been canceled?
More than I have drawn breaths.
I think my favorite was when someone said something like really homophobic, and you were like, "You're fatherless. Your mom doesn't love you."
Oh yeah, that's right.
Your dick is small, and someone was like, "Tim, that's so out of line." I think that was my favorite, where you were like, "You're broke. I see you're depressed. You should kill yourself."
For context, that was when OnlyFans decided to cancel all creator accounts that had porn on it. And then I was like, I made a post that was like, oh, alternatives to OnlyFans. If you still want to continue content creation. And someone was like, get a real job or something. And then that's where I became like...
Yeah, and then you like, yeah. And I think that was so funny where you were like...
Whatever, cancel me. So anyways, this question comes from Piss Baby.
AKA Steve.
Steve, I guess. And this is a question. Let me preface this by saying I respect all kinks, even if they're not for me. I have no intention of kink shaming anyone, though I understand this may come off that way. I apologize in advance.
Hold on, can I just say kink shaming is my kink? Sorry, that's
Fair.
such a fucking old joke,
fair.
but
That's fair.
I'm a judgmental bitch, and it really turns
Your
me
drag
on.
name is Heinous Bitch. Right?
That's true. Yes,
That's true.
that is my
Your drag.
my SAG name.
SAG. He says, my partner of 5 years recently told me he wants to start wearing a pup hood in a non-sexual way, as in to wear it around the house. My best friend is very into pup play, so I assumed I would be okay with it. Sexually, it's just not a turn on for me. I wanted to be supportive of him since he says it's for his quote-unquote headspace. He put that in quotes. Well, after seeing him wear it, I'm not as okay as I thought I would be. Even just the thought of him wearing it makes my chest hurt. He doesn't wear it around me, but I've seen him wearing it on our home's security camera. Also, even seeing it in the guest room where he keeps it makes me very uncomfortable. I can see them on other people and be fine with it, like my best friend on TikTok, but seeing him in it just makes me want to fall apart. I want to be supportive, but this is too much for me. Should I say something or just let it ride and hope it's a phase?
Okay, sorry. So he's wearing this pup hood.
Yeah. For his mental health.
Okay.
Like it's apparently it's good for his headspace in quotes. So
Okay, I'm like, show me what this pup hood looks like. I wanna be able to visualize it.
A pup
Is it
hood,
like a little leather like?
No, it's a full on like mask.
Is it hyper realistic? Are we talking about a furry
No,
here?
no,
Like,
no.
what's
It
going on?
looks just like a leather mask.
Oh, okay, that's what I thought it was. Okay.
Yeah. Like it's got ears, it's got like a muzzle on it.
You know what it's serving? What's the main one? The cop from Pup Patrol. I hope you know what. Paw Patrol. Piss Baby, aka Steve. This is my advice to you. Just think of it as what's the Chase? I think Chase from Pup Patrol, and it's like cute. It's not creepy.
So
It's cute.
weird.
So what? Does it not? Am I crazy?
Okay,
It's giving Paw Patrol.
I'm gonna.
Which is propaganda, by the way. Fuck Paw
That's
Patrol.
true. Paw
but
Patrol
like,
is propaganda. That's
but
weird.
is it not giving the pig
Okay,
from
it's
Paw
giving
Patrol?
that. It's giving that.
Is it not?
Yeah, that's him. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Viewers,
Listeners,
listeners,
audience,
yeah,
whatever.
audience. Sound off in the comments,
yeah.
or I don't know, reply to Tim.
Yeah.
Does a pup mask not? It's not. Does
It's
it?
giving Paw
it's
Patrol.
serving. It's serving Paw Patrol.
It's giving Paw Patrol.
So this is my advice to you, as the
Resident heinous bitch.
yeah. What exactly about it is making you uncomfortable? Like
Yeah.
what about it? Is it that you
Speaking
feel
of pups,
like
I don't know if the listeners can hear my dog Rosie.
yeah,
barking.
Rosie felt like she needed to sound
chime
off.
in. Yeah, she needs to chime
she
in.
needs to defend her people. What exactly about it is making you uncomfortable? Because I think at that point, then you can kind of start to unpack why it's
you
making
can
you uncomfortable.
Interrogate those emotions.
Yeah,
right?
like do you feel that? I mean, has it been involved in like sexual experiences that you've had with your partner? Like, has it been a part of that? And you feel that it's like going outside of this like moments of intimacy into your regular life, and it makes you feel uncomfortable because of that. Like, why exactly are you so... And I listen, as someone who is a hater, a certified hater.
Yeah, you got the plaque and the trophy and everything.
Yeah, I got a PhD in being a hater.
Yeah.
Like, you can... There's stuff that people do that I'm just like, you're a fucking weirdo, man. Yeah. Sometimes your partners do weird shit, and you're like, what's going on there? Yeah. But I think, like, first you need to understand why it makes you so uncomfortable, and then you can have a conversation with your partner about it. Because, like, it's bothering you for a reason. The mask itself, it's not like you're scared of the mask. The mask is creepy. It's not like it's a fucking...
It's the practice of putting on the hood.
It's, yeah, and you know that you're comfortable with it when it's other people. So what's the reason for why you feel uncomfortable now?
Like, why is it only for your partner?
In this specific,
you?
In this like scenario where it's not a sexual scenario, but they're wearing it regardless. Like I can understand, like, again, as a hater, I'm not saying that like, and it's not kink shaming. I think, like, especially if you're in a relationship with someone and they have a kink that you're not into or whatever, I don't think it's kink shaming for you to have that conversation with your partner, right?
It's getting curious.
Everyone has different boundaries, right? Or everyone has different limits for stuff. And it's totally fair for you to be like, this doesn't work for me because ultimately I think like sex and intimacy has to be comfortable for both people, right? So I think if you're like not, that I think there's not enough information for me to be like,
Well,
you're wrong.
We're kind of like just going by what they've written
Yeah.
in. So
Anyway, figure out the root of of where your feelings are coming from.
I think it's important that people who have this discomfort, they pause.
Yeah,
they
and
sit with
interrogate it.
Exactly. They interrogate it and be like, why does this make me uncomfortable? And how do I like process this and not put it out on my partner? Because this is a me issue.
Yeah, but I also think like it's completely fair for you to also be like, this is why it makes me uncomfortable, and accept that that's going to make you uncomfortable. I don't think you have to change or you have to force yourself to like be like quote unquote comfortable with it if that's just never going to happen for you.
Yeah, like if a specific kink is not for you, then fine, but like, don't take it out on your partner because
Yeah, I think also like there's maybe some feelings of resentment there that like they're making you uncomfortable, but it's like they don't from the information you've given us, Piss Baby, it is not clear that you have like expressed to your partner that it makes you uncomfortable or that you've had a conversation. Right. But like, yeah, figure it out, dude. Like, interrogate that. Maybe you're in therapy. Talk about it with your therapist if that's something you feel comfortable doing.
Yeah. We were gonna be unhelpful, but we totally just gave practical
Sorry,
advice.
like I said, I'm a Cancer. I'm a mom friend. Like, I'm always gonna be like, honey, do you need anything? I'm not like those other moms. I'm a cool mom.
You're not a regular mom. You're a cool mom.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So that's great. So on the topic of kink shaming, just interrogate your feelings first before you bring it up with your partner.
Yeah, and I don't think it's kink shaming for you to, after you've kind of figured out why it makes you uncomfortable, to have that conversation with your partner.
Very nice. Thanks, Piss Baby.
Yeah. I hope I redeemed myself after naming you Piss Baby.
And we're going to continue to be so much worse with the following questions.
Can we get worse from Piss Baby? I
think we
we'll
can.
Find out.
Yeah. Let's see. This one is about body image.
Okay.
So what should we name him?
Oh, okay. Body image.
So like he's kind of like skinny, but like, he sees himself as like too big in the mirror sometimes. Let's call him...
I have the reverse of that.
Yeah.
I have the reverse of that. I think I was at it was my mother's birthday yesterday, so we went out to dinner, and in the restaurant there's like a booth, and the wall on the booth is like a mirror, and I looked at myself while I was sitting, and I was like, holy fuck, I look like that? Because listen, I'm hot.
And you're like voluptuous.
Yeah. I got a big old dump truck.
Yeah. Also, it's funny that like you brought this up when we were watching Trixie and Katya, that like I have body dysmorphia for you.
Yeah.
Like I underestimate how.
Yes. Okay.
I underestimate your size.
Yeah, because whenever we go to shows, and I always buy a T-shirt when we go to concerts or shows or whatever. And Tim is always like, and when he orders T-shirts for me or whatever, he always orders like a size that's too small for me, and I'm like, Tim, like I'm fat. I really don't like. To be clear,
That's not a negative.
I'm not talking down to myself. I'm fat and
it's
I'm
hot.
Adjective, like I don't think that I'm ugly or anything like that. I actually think I'm like very hot.
Exactly. And you are. It's just that I always underestimate the size.
Yeah. And also like I like a baggy shirt. As you can I'm wearing
shirt.
a massive sweatshirt to this recording.
Whereas I always order a size too small so that I can crop it and show as much skin as possible.
Yeah. That's where we differ. You're
comfortable. I'm uncomfortable, and that's where
I'm
You're cozy.
I'm cozy, and you're
slutty.
Slutty. You're a big ol' whore.
I am. My hole is literally on display all the time.
I think the most important thing that a man can be is slutty.
That's true. They have to wear suits. They have to wear those perfectly circular glasses.
Oh, listen.
Slut glasses. The hoochie daddy shorts.
I'm telling you, I see a man in those round wire glasses.
Like Harry Potter.
And I'm like, No, it's like very specific. I'm
No, I
sorry,
know
but
it. I know.
I
what
know
you're
you're
talking
gonna
about.
hate me for this because this is like a very terrible frame of reference. But
No,
but this is what I'm talking about. These are the slutty little glasses that I'm talking about. I see a man wearing. Okay, no, hold on. Let me find a. Okay, I see. Okay, sorry. This is like the best one that I can. I see a man wearing those pairs of glasses. I'm like, you are a slut.
yeah, yeah.
You are a big old slut, and I think you should have a little waist. Little,
Snatched.
a little, like a
Needs to be
snatched
snatched.
waist.
Yeah, cinched.
Yeah,
You need to be cinched.
and I don't mean little as in like physically little, but like it's got to be. There's got to be definition there, and
There
I think
needs to
that
be
you should
that
be
upside down triangle
yes,
kind of shape to
yes,
it. Yeah,
and
yeah.
I think you should wear the glasses, and I think you should be slutty.
I think that men should wear a corset that really cinches your waist and like.
I'm telling you, I see a man with a slutty little waist, and I just go crazy.
I agree. So we're talking body dysmorphia, and so Anonymous writes, I'm pretty sure I have some symptoms of a type of body dysmorphia / eating disorder. I'm not underweight by any means, but on photos I see a healthy muscular guy. I made the mistake of weighing myself today, and all of a sudden I feel like I weigh 50 pounds and start obsessing about getting the weight and muscle back. I see. Everyone around me has mentioned it, how they tell me compliments, and my answer is always, I can do better. It has been there my whole life, never truly feeling like you ever look good when you look in the mirror and everyone around me is questioning, how is that possible? So...
Can I just say, welcome to being a woman? That's literally just being a woman.
Yeah.
And I think like if you feel that it is controlling your life, or that you don't, these thoughts make you do stuff that you don't want to do, then like, yeah, go see someone. But otherwise, like, I know that gay men have their own.
We have our own body image issues to
but
deal with.
I think like those feelings are so baseline for women. Even now, like I have been fat my entire life. And again, I use fat as a objective descriptor. I don't use
It's
it
a
as
neutral
like,
adjective.
Yeah, and I think I've reached a point in my life
Like you
where
are as fat as I am Filipino.
yeah, it's like it's just an adjective to describe me. And like navigating the world as a fat girl is not fun at all. And it took me many years to get to this point. And I think like when you live in a marginalized body, loving yourself is the most radical thing you can do. And I think like, I know Lizzo has like a great quote where she was like, being a fat black woman, I have to love myself. It's an act of survival to love myself.
Oh yeah.
And I think like you have to look at it like that. I think if you're having feelings that you can't feel like what reality is like, then yeah, you should definitely reach out to someone who deals with that.
How would you like help this guy here who's saying that like he
understands that he's not in okay. Yeah. Like, sorry, babe, I'm not qualified to like, you know what I mean? If you have this disconnect or whatever, like that's bigger than just. But true. I will say that like that's a lot of women feel that way.
Yeah, I think that like when it comes to something as body dysmorphia, that's something that's so personal, and there's no universal advice to help anyone through that.
Also, we're like very clearly not professionals.
No.
In case
on body dysmorphia, yeah.
Yeah.
Or as this one TikTok himbo put it, body dystopia.
But that's what it feels like, man. No, but for real, I think like if you are feeling that you cannot trust your own judgment about what you actually look like, and it's consuming you, it's like really kind of taking over your every waking moment, you should see someone.
Yeah, and also like it may be hard to believe your friends, but they know you more than you would know yourself, because when you're judging yourself, you're coming from a place of bias, whereas your friends can provide a little more objective.
They see you all the time. They see you
Yeah.
as you are. You only see yourself
In a
in the
warped-
mirror.
yeah.
And even that is warped. And I think like I can't remember who wrote this, but someone wrote that like humans were never meant to be able to see what we look like. Yeah. That in nature, the only way that we could see ourselves is by looking in a body of water. And that the body of water would distort us regardless. You'd never be able to have a clear picture of yourself.
Yeah.
And I think like that's so true, is that we were never meant to see this many people that we see on social media, right? Like we're exposed to so many people that we never would have seen before social media.
Yeah.
And it warps our sense of what is actually normal.
Or what
you know what I mean? Like
regular body is supposed to look like.
yeah, exactly. If your feelings are so extreme, then yeah, definitely go. I like that my advice for everyone is go see a therapist.
Because it's true.
I'm not this episode is not sponsored by BetterHelp, which is a shitty company anyway. Sorry, have you ever been sponsored by BetterHelp?
No.
Okay,
no.
BetterHelp is a really shitty company.
I would never.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. I was like, am I about to blow up a
with my
sponsorship for you?
No. As someone who has therapist friends who all agree that BetterHelp is shit, I don't think I would ever accept a sponsorship from BetterHelp.
Yeah, BetterHelp is okay. Go see a real they're a real therapist, but they're treated very badly by BetterHelp, and like the whole platform is garbaga.
Yeah.
So go see a real therapist.
It's
But also like believe people in your life who
because
see you.
You personally hold me accountable for my own negative views, and like, Tim, you're actually not this and that, because like you, Tim, are so warped in your worldview that like you can't trust yourself. So then you're gonna be like, you're actually this and that. You're not this, because I create all of these situations in my head, such as body dysmorphia, such as, I don't know, some insecure thing, and like I love how you hold me accountable all the time, and that's why you're so mean to me, because it's tough love.
Yeah, but I'm mean to you about you being mean to yourself. Okay, I
That's
am also
true.
mean to you, period. But I am mean to you about being mean to yourself.
Yeah, that's tough love.
Because I feel like, in our relationship at least,
Yeah.
you can't be objective about yourself. I can be objective about you. Because I know you, and I see what you do and how you are without your own negative self-narrative influencing it, right? I just see your actions, and I see like who you are as a person. I don't see that inner monologue that you have about how you're a bad person. So what I see is objective facts about you, right? And so like believe the people that are in your life and who love you, because even though they love you, they're not being biased about it.
Yeah.
They love you for a reason. No one comes into your life loving you without even knowing you. They know you, and because of that, they love you. And I think that's evidence.
Yeah, because they've seen the worst parts of you, and they still choose to be in your life. So
yeah, that's why enemies to lovers is such a good trope.
it's so hot. It's so hot. No, but also.
But I will say, like, but genuinely, like, I think people, it's really easy, and I do it all the time too. It's really easy to believe that you're a bad person, or that you're ugly, or that you're stupid, or all of these negative things about yourself. It's easy to believe that, but you have to remember that you only see yourself in the way that you have interpreted yourself, if that makes sense. That like you cannot be objective. You can't. It's just not possible. You live in your own head the entire time. Whereas think about how you feel about the people in your life, Like, would you say those things to your best friend?
To your best friend, yeah.
Would you say that to your mom? Would you say that to, like, people that you care about in your life?
No.
You would
so
never.
Why would you
would
say
never.
it to yourself?
Exactly.
And it's also an act of kindness when you do that to yourself. It
And
may not be nice,
Yeah.
but it's kind.
Yeah. And also, I think, like, I would hate, as your best friend, I would hate to know that you are talking so badly about yourself.
Yeah. Because that's your job.
That is my job. But I do it out of a place of love, and I think when you talk negatively about yourself, you do it out of a place of...
Self-deprecation.
and like a place of misunderstanding your own self. Right? Like it's like a intentional misunderstanding. Because there are things that are factual about you, right? And you ignore that in order to be able to make this like really shitty self-narrative work. And yeah, it is my job to be mean to you.
Because who else is going to do it better than you?
Yeah, that's true.
All right, so thank you for writing that beautiful question about body dysmorphia. Like, ooh, a gay with body image issues. That's new. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Do we know? Do we know if this person is gay?
I mean, they are anonymous, but I'm just going to assume that it's
what
a gay
if it's
man.
a straight woman?
Oh, then
What if it's
sorry.
What if it's what?
Sorry.
Let's pick celebrities that we think are writing in.
Okay, so for Piss Boy,
Piss Baby.
for Piss Baby,
Get it right, Tim. Okay, show some respect for Piss Baby.
for the gender neutral Piss Baby.
Yeah.
So let's say Piss Baby, who would have been in a pup hood or has something against pup hoods? Who do we think?
Oh, you know who's like a huge cat person? Taylor Swift.
So that's Taylor Swift that wrote in.
Taylor Swift is uncomfortable with pup hoods because she's a cat lady.
Yeah. So Taylor Swift wrote in the first question. Love that.
And her
Latest album was about that.
Her boyfriend is in the pup hood.
Yeah.
Joe Alwyn, whatever his name is.
Whatever
Actually,
that is.
no, that would make him. He's such a like blank slate. Oops, did not mean to make that reference. That him being into pup play would be actually incredible. I would have to stand, to be honest with you.
We have to stay.
We have to stand this hypothetical world where Taylor Swift's boyfriend is
in a pup play. I love it.
Please, Tree Pain, don't sue us. Don't sue us.
Oopsies.
This is all a joke. This is all satire.
Who do you think wrote in for the body dysmorphia question? Let's say...
Would it be bad if I said Ariana Grande?
For the sake of this episode, yes, it's Ariana Grande that wrote in that question.
I'm so sorry, but seriously, I hope she gets help, genuinely.
Yeah, get help. Get help, Ari. You're welcome. All right, so this next written question is about... Oh, it's actually a little weird. I don't know how to, categorize this, but I'm going to read it out loud anyway, and then just let's see where we get through this. For context, I'm a cis white guy. Okay, so cis white guy. Name the first cis white guy who's problematic that comes at the top of your head.
Oh, first cis white guy that's problematic?
That comes off your head. Top of your head right now.
Johnny Depp?
Johnny Depp, okay.
Did you hear that Rihanna is going to have him walk in the...
in the Savage Fenty.
Rihanna,
I was like,
Rihanna,
girl.
Rihanna.
You literally just came out with a song. Let's not,
Rihanna, what's going on?
Anyway, so Johnny Depp wrote into the show. For context, I'm a cis white guy who is physically attracted to most people who identify within the male or masculine spectrum, i.e. masc, femme, non-binary, comfortable, having a penis, transmasc, etc. Whatever. I get cravings for stimulation from certain cultures at a time.
Oh my god, I'm sorry, the way he phrased that.
Yep, let me
Hold on. Can you repeat that for me?
He says, I get cravings for stimulation from certain cultures at a time. I hope that means bacterial. But no. He says, I want to fuck guys of that culture, eat the food, listen to the music, go to family or friend parties, attend religious ceremonies, etc. It's like I get a crush on a culture and crave all the things, but not as an I am one of you, in quotes, but more as I crave the types of interaction or energy that is unique to that culture. Just to clarify, I am not excluding experiences of cultures or guys that I am not crushing on at the time. I love everyone and very food motivated, LOL. I can't decide if it is problematic, but I'd like to think it gives me an appreciation for more than just white, cis, Midwestern life.
Okay, I'm gonna... Okay, this is something I've thought about a lot, but not... Okay, hold on. Let me get into it.
Yeah.
So I think that there's, this complex that white people have. I am white, however, my parents are from Eastern Europe.
Yeah.
I am a second generation Canadian. I am very, I speak the language that my parents speak. I was raised in the culture. I feel that I have a very strong identity to the Eastern European culture that my family comes from. I have gone back to the motherland many times and all of that. So I am white. However, I do consider myself to be part of this culture very, very closely. And even though I grew up in Canada, I was born in Canada, if someone asks me what I am, I'm going to say that I'm Eastern European. And I think that people who don't have that, who are third, fourth, fifth generation Canadian or American, who are just white and don't participate in the culture that their ancestors were a part of, have this complex where there's like an emptiness in their lives because they don't have this okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
And because they have this emptiness in their lives because they don't have a real culture. Like, the joke is that white people don't have culture, but, like, what about coleslaw or whatever? Which, I'm sorry, coleslaw bangs. I love coleslaw.
Coleslaw rights.
And coleslaw is an Eastern European, like, go to any Eastern European country and you're getting coleslaw at, like, fast food places and whatever. So, coleslaw hits. But I think, like, these people who don't have a close connection like people like me do, they don't have this kind of culture that you can participate in and that makes you feel like you belong and that you have an identity. And so what happens is they pick and choose from different cultures, which is why you have these culture vultures, specifically who are appropriating like African American culture.
Right.
Specifically, right? And I think that is all a kind of side effect of white supremacy. Ooh, we're getting academic. And why I say that is that white supremacy relies on having expanding the definition of whiteness. So there was a time in America where Irish and Eastern Europeans and Italians were not considered white.
Yeah, they
right?
were like the bottom of the totem pole.
Yes. So like, and in no way am I comparing the discrimination that these people face to the discrimination and the absolute cultural genocide that was happening to indigenous people and to people of African descent in North America. It was 100% not the same thing. However, the fact was that white was Anglo-Saxon for a really long time. And then as like after slavery ended in the United States and black people were able to move more freely across the United States, they became these white people, these Anglo-Saxon white people were beginning to become outnumbered. And so in order to maintain power, they had to expand the definition of whiteness. And what whiteness does is it erases everything. You're not Irish anymore. You're not Italian. White. You're white, right?
Yeah.
And in order to be part of this white identity, which white supremacy
you need to leave behind your Irish culture,
yes,
your Italian
and
culture.
that's and that's how you become white, right? This is like not a fully formed thought. There are people who are much more intelligent than me who have expanded on this. This is not an original thought.
Yeah.
This
is not an academic podcast.
Yeah. This is just I think like I'm coming from the perspective of like a white person first and foremost, but also someone who is very close with their culture.
Yeah.
And so I see that difference of like people who experience that and people who don't.
Yeah. But you have like culture, whereas this person is from the Midwest.
Yes.
So
I believe that probably my children or my grandchildren would not have the same experience as me, and they would feel more white than they would feel Eastern European.
Right.
So I think like this absence of something very specific and something connected to you that you feel through your family and through your ancestors, that's lacking in these people who live as like white people, then you you just kind of go fucking insane, man.
Because it's kind of like this constant search of like, where do I belong? Where do I fit in?
And you see the like community that exists with people
who
of
have
color
a culture,
who
yeah.
have culture, and you want to be a part of that. So it's you're fetishizing, and I think what's happening here is you're not fetishizing the culture,
person, yeah.
you're fetishizing the community that comes from it, because you want to be a part of the community, right?
Right, yeah. Because
I mean, like,
to fetishize a culture, that's like, you're basically separating a whole...
I think the fact that it's multiple,
Yeah.
that it's not just one, it's the community that's appealing to this person,
Yeah,
right?
this guy is searching for a place to belong because he's never found any sort of culture within the Midwest. And what is Midwestern culture anyway, right?
Yeah, I think like, yes, is there a culture to the Midwest, but it's never going to be as strong as it is with people like, like immigrant culture, like
Yeah. Eastern European culture has its own thing. Filipino culture has its own thing. And then we all gather together because we all like come from the same kind of struggle, or like we have so much in common from where we descended. So we build on that. Whereas this guy, it sounds like he's just never had that. And when I imagine Midwest, I imagine farmland.
Yeah.
So it's like you really don't have much community other than the small town that you're from.
Yeah, and I think like the struggle strengthens the ties between us in our communities, right? Like, I think, this is like kind of weird, but when elections happen, right, and people talk about, you have to secure the like
state.
the Chinese vote, you need
Yeah.
to secure that these people are in community with each other, and that means that they kind of coalesce together and they look out for each other in this way, and so they form like, kind of I keep saying the word community, but I think that's like what it is. Yeah, and I think like you're always going to feel connection with people who have the same culture as you.
Yeah.
There's always going to be a level of understanding between you and someone from the same culture that you won't get with someone else. Like, we come from, I think, different but cultures that are very similar in a lot of ways too.
From our struggle and from our
And I think like
immigration
we both,
experiences. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I will never understand you 100% as a Filipino person, because that's not my culture, and you'll never understand me 100% as an Eastern European. So I think like I said, there's something about the connection that seems to be appealing to this person, because he's not just it's sexual. He wants to participate in religious
ceremonies.
Yeah.
He wants to like consume the food of that culture. I just do have a problem with what he says. Like, I want to fuck guys of that culture. Listen to the music. I was like,
yeah, I think that's you're confused, and I think this is what it is. The intimacy that comes with being with someone in a physical relationship, you're using that as like
a vehicle
to be able to get into that
that
like wider connection.
So it's like, if I have sex with this guy of this descent or something, maybe I can immerse myself into where.
And it's also like you're confusing intimacies, right? The intimacy that comes with
sex and with community
and with right.
It gets confusing.
And it's like, you're combining them both.
Right. Now, to address his question, is that problematic? Do you think it's problematic for a cis white Midwesterner to immerse himself in a culture coming from a place that he doesn't have any?
I'm gonna say it again. Go to therapy, dude. Like, I think this is a symptom of like a broader issue. I think you feel very disconnected from the people around you, and this is almost like a shortcut for you to get that emotional connection that you so crave, right? And this is a shortcut for you to do that. And instead of building, the words of the episode are intimacy and community, but
gentle.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I repeat myself, but
no, that's fine. It's just a very interesting question because
do I think it's problematic? I think it is problematic.
Yeah, because he says he can't decide if it's problematic, but I'd like to think it gives me an appreciation for more than Midwestern life. You know?
I think there's like,
This requires nuance.
yeah. Well, okay, I'll say this. I was with a guy who is Canadian. Does not have...
The most important fact is that he was a Pisces. Ugh.
Yeah. It was, listen, a very dark time in my life. Anyway.
Let's move on from there.
But I can see that, like, there was always a disconnect between us because
you had a cultural...
I had a culture and he
None.
didn't have that in his life.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of stuff that I did that he just could not understand. He just couldn't get it at all.
Yeah.
And I think that there is something to trying to build an understanding of someone when you come from that perspective of like, I don't necessarily have a culture, but my partner does.
So it's kind of like, am I part of this?
Yeah, and like I want to, because I care about this person, I want to understand, I want to take part as, not as an individual, but as someone who is a partner to someone who is part of this. You know what I mean? So I think like there's something sweet about that, about wanting to be a part of that in order to like have a better understanding of your partner. I think that's totally fine. But if you're doing this not out of a desire to be close with your partner or to develop a better understanding of your partner, you're doing it because there's something you're gaining from it. Maybe get that checked out.
Let's unpack that.
Let's unpack.
Because that becomes self-serving. Rather,
You don't, and it shows that you don't care about the people.
Yeah. You care about yourself more.
You see the people as a means to an end for yourself, for something that you desire, something you're lacking in your life.
Yeah, exactly. Rather than like coming from a place of empathy or a sincere understanding.
There's a level of give and take in any time you're coming and taking part in something that you're not normally a part of, right? You have to give and you have to take. Yeah. And it seems like you're taking without giving.
Yeah. So, sorry, Johnny Depp. That is verdict.
Johnny, both the real Johnny Depp and this Johnny Depp, please go to therapy.
Go to therapy.
But also, like, I want to express some like sympathy and empathy for someone who I think is struggling with something that we have in our lives that a lot of people don't. Which
should we check our cultural privilege?
No, I want to say that like my life is better because I have this
culture. Yeah,
because
community.
Yes. My life is better for it. Yeah. It's hard sometimes, especially being a child of immigrants.
Yeah.
Not easy, not a fun time.
No.
But I know that I'm a better person for it.
Yeah, it gives you tough skin.
Yeah.
And clear skin.
That's true. You're glowing.
Always, all the time.
But yeah, I think like, would I want to be
culturalists? No.
No, would I like, I very much, I think it's especially easy for white people who come from like a same situation. It's so easy for me to assimilate into Canadian culture.
That's
true. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's a privilege, 100%. That is 100% a privilege. But I think I don't want to completely assimilate into Canadian culture. I want to have that connection. It's special to me.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Why are we being so helpful towards these men?
Like I said, I can't help it. I'm a mommy.
We're supposed to be haters, but you know what? I think that was very helpful.
I mean,
and I hope this writer, gets.
Yeah, like I said, Johnny Depp, get into therapy.
Get help. Yeah. So, this last question is actually a voicemail. So listeners, if you're not aware, I do have a voicemail service. You can leave a very short question. It's only like 90 seconds, so make it quick, make it brief. I'm not here to listen to your life story. You need to pay me for that. So that's why it's free.
Yeah.
So this one comes from Twitter from @MiamiGlenn, and this is his question.
Hi Tim, it's @MiamiGlenn. My question is, how do I experience a healthy sexuality when the person I'm in a relationship with is a sex and meth addict and I'm kind of shut off sexually.
Oh my god.
Aw.
Okay. Miami Glenn.
Thank
we're not
you
gonna
for that.
Yeah, you were very vulnerable by leaving a voicemail.
Yeah.
So we're not
We're not gonna drag you.
Yeah, we're not gonna drag
Yeah.
you.
We love you.
And I will say I imagine you as Glenn from Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Disgustingly horrific death. Shout out Glenn from Walking Dead. One of the best characters ever.
Oh my god.
Never watched a single episode of The Walking Dead, but I
Steven
do
Yeun.
love
Steven Yeun, I love you.
What can I say?
I
He's
know.
a sweetie.
He's so cute.
Wow, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's really tough.
Let me chime in by saying, well, first of all, you are very handsome. What a beautiful silver fox. So thanks, Miami Glenn, for that beautiful message and the very handsome photo. Addiction is very much a personal journey. It's their problem to deal with, not yours. It's very much like they need their addiction or their struggle will always be or will always outweigh whatever it is that you're feeling towards them, because it's so strong and so intimately connected to them. As someone who has struggled with substance abuse in the past and it has destroyed relationships, I was unable to create intimacy and sustain intimacy because of my substance use. And that needed to be fixed before I could genuinely connect with other people. So, you know, like, just because you're an addict doesn't mean that you don't deserve love. You know, like, the problem is that the substance use or the desire to keep using any of those substances and abusing those substances will always be a lot stronger than someone's love for you. And it's like, it needs to, there needs to be a handle on it before any sort of genuine connection can come from it. So I don't know, Anna, what do you think?
I experienced sexual trauma when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I found that because of that, I was incredibly closed off, both emotionally and like sexually.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, you know, when you're with someone who is experiencing addiction, and it seems like he mentioned also like a sexual component to the addiction.
BT dubs, sex addiction is not a real thing.
I think maybe what it is that there's not an acknowledgement of your own boundaries in the relationship is kind of what I'm interpreting this as. I do agree that sex addiction is not. I think we come from two different perspectives as to why it's not real.
But like we come to the same verdict. That
Yeah,
it's
we
not
do
a real
come
thing.
to the same conclusion. I think, you know, when you have when you're experiencing sexual trauma, it can be incredibly isolating and
It's jarring.
yeah, and it's very difficult to kind of navigate relationships when you're experiencing that. And you want to come to a place, and I think you know, there are people who don't experience sexual attraction, which is completely valid. But for most people, having a healthy relationship with sex and their own sexuality is a really important component of their life. And it takes a really long time to unpack any kind of trauma that you may have experienced around that, especially since it's like very almost shameful to say that. And I think that, like, you know, that's hard. This is tough, but
It really is tough because addiction is so intimately. It's so intimate. It's personal.
Yeah,
intimate
for
as
sure.
intimate, not in the interpersonal sense, but intimate as in it's so deeply connected to yourself.
yeah.
You know.
But at the same time, I think it paints every relationship that you have.
Yeah.
Right? And I think sometimes also there's this idea that when someone's going through something, you have to like almost suspend your boundaries in order to be there for them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that doesn't end up being very helpful. Like they always say, you can't help anyone if you're in a state of crisis. Actually, I don't know if anyone says that. I think
No, it's true though.
I think
kind
that
of like-
the metaphor is you can't like fill someone's glass if your
No.
glass is empty. But
The
but
metaphor is the airplane thing. Put your mask on.
Oh yeah, okay,
before-
yes, that's the metaphor. And I think that if you are experiencing a lot of turmoil yourself, you can't be a supportive partner to this person. And I think sometimes it's fair to say, I can't help you. You know, we're both drowning.
Yeah.
One of us has to get,
Yeah.
one of us has to be able to like get the strength to be able to swim, right?
Because this person has a relationship with their addiction and prioritizes that relationship before the relationship with Miami Glen.
Absolutely. And I think like, you know, I don't think you can actually develop a healthy relationship with your sexuality, and sexuality in the sense of like your desires and all of that.
And intimacy.
And your desire for intimacy. I don't think you can do that when you're in this place of like, this person is struggling so much and you're
in the dark.
experiencing, you're experiencing that with them. You don't have the space to be able to heal yourself. And you can't have a like healthy outlook on this if you're still in the midst of this trauma and this crisis that you're having. And I'm not saying in any way that people who are addicts shouldn't experience relationships and shouldn't experience love, but you also shouldn't put yourself in a traumatic situation because you think that you can't leave this person. You know? And I think that like it's really complicated, and I think that, you know, we can't give an answer. We can't tell you what to do.
Yeah, we're not therapists.
Yeah, it's just
We're unhinged is what we are.
it's so complicated, but like I totally, man, my heart goes out to you, Miami Glen. I know when you're like dealing with stuff, and it's so hard, and it's so hard to talk about, and like,
Yeah.
you know, and there's an aspect of like you feel kind of broken or
Helpless.
messed up or whatever
Yeah.
because you feel like this thing that should be so natural to you is so complicated, and you feel gross, and like all of this stuff is going on, right? So, like I said, Miami Glen, wish you the best.
Yeah.
Just know that you're not alone in feeling those things, and go to therapy.
Or maybe find someone who isn't an addict. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No, I think, like I
Yeah.
said, you can only be a supportive person to someone in crisis if
open.
you are not in crisis yourself,
Yeah.
and the other person is open.
Yeah.
If the other person is not interested in reaching
Receiving
like a
support.
point, receiving support or reaching a point where they can be a healthy presence in everyone's lives. By the way, harm reduction 100%. I
Yes.
don't believe that abstinence is the only way that
Nope.
addicts can
Harm reduction is the way to go.
yeah, so if this is a person who is not willing to work on whatever is going on, and this is causing you immense pain, you have
Every right to take yourself away from that.
yeah, you have every right to distance yourself, and like I said, don't
Find what serves you.
yeah.
Yeah. If this person's addiction is getting in the way of who you are, then let that person work that out, and you can focus on yourself. And
Yeah, because ultimately it seems like there are two people who are struggling very, very hard in this relationship, and neither one of you can be a good partner to the other if you're both in the midst of some really deep, dark shit.
yeah. Aww. Well, Glenn,
Yeah,
we
I
love
wish you the best.
Wish you the best. We love you so much. Wow, I think we've helped a lot of people today.
Yeah, I ended up taking this like very seriously.
You did, and you know what? For a couple queers who have nothing but absolute hatred and just pure rage towards men, I think we've helped a lot of men today during Men's Health Month.
Yeah,
So that's great.
don't know how I feel about that.
Oh my god. We need to destroy more men.
Yeah.
We did the exact opposite.
Like I said, if
today's
you
show.
want to have a really fucked up summer, hit me up.
Yeah, and also if you want me to fuck up your summer, you know my handles.
Yeah, if you want to have like irreparable trauma.
I'm trying to get a date, Anna.
Oh no, I want to ruin a man's life.
That's true. And
I
starting
feel
with
like
me.
I feel like I have one down. So I have many more to go.
Oh my god. Well, do you have any final words, by the way, Anna?
My final words are, please forward any complaints you have about my tasting one to Tim. Feel free to rip me a new one in his Twitter replies. Okay, yeah.
At Sex Ed with Tim on Twitter and Instagram. Okay, everybody. If you liked this episode and you enjoyed the chaotic conversation that Anna and I just had, you know where to hit that like button, that 5-star review. Because if you don't, you're being a homophobe. Sorry, I don't make the rules. It's only when you're supporting queer content. But remember, subscribe, like, whatever you want to support the show. And yeah, thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Sex Ed with Tim podcast. I will see you all at the next one. Take care. Bye. Thanks for listening to the Sex Ed with Tim podcast. Sex Ed with Tim is created and produced by me, Tim Lagman. Music is Aces High by Kevin MacLeod. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at GaySlutClown and at Sex Ed with Tim. You can also like and follow me on the Sex Ed with Tim Facebook page. If you enjoyed the show, please rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Even better, you can also support the show on Patreon, where you can get early access to ad-free episodes and more. Thanks for all your support, you dirty little slut. Mwah!